everybody. This is Lisa Wildermuth. Today's 1-hour yoga class will be Vinyasa flow. Before you begin, make sure you have some props, whether they're bolster, block, blanket, or towel, anything you have around your house that can serve to help give you better balance or to use for any modifications. And when you're ready, let's begin. We're going to start in Sukhasana, seated easy pose. You can sit either flat on the ground, but if that's not comfortable, you may want to sit on a blanket or a towel. And if the legs crossed is uncomfortable, always feel free to let the legs come out in front of you a little bit. All right, so as you're here, I want you to try and get a tall, lifted spine. Draw the shoulders down. So maybe roll them a few times and then release them down. From here, close your eyes, close the mouth, and start to breathe in and out through your nose. Try to settle into an even rhythmic breath pattern. We're going to start with a little bit of pranayama today, and our breath practice will be square or box breathing. This is where all 4 parts of your breath are of equal length. Today we'll inhale for 4, take a pause for 4 counts, exhale for 4, take another pause for 4, and continue on. I will help count you through this, and it's, once again, all done through the nose. So still keeping that tall lifted spine, eyes closed. Let's begin our inhale through your nose now, starting with 1, 2, 3, 4, pause, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, pause, 2, 3, 4, inhale, 2, 3, 4, pause, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, pause, 2, 3, 4, inhale, 2, 3, 4, pause, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, pause, 2, 3, 4. Take a moment, just breathe kind of naturally again. Let the belly expand out as you inhale. Feel the ribs and the belly draw in as you exhale. Just do another round of this on your own, and I want you to choose the number of breath count that you would like to do. Maybe shorter, maybe a 3 count, maybe a little longer, a 5 or a 6 count. Go ahead and do whatever feels best to you, and begin now. And then when you're done, breathe naturally. Start to notice what part of that count you found most difficult. Was it the pausing of the breath on the inhale, after the inhale, or was it pausing the breath after the exhale? Was it finding enough time to get your full inhale in or your full exhale? All right. Go ahead and slowly open your eyes. And from here, we're going to start with a little bit of movement and then settle into our first stretch. So let's go ahead and inhale our arms up. As you do, take your gaze upward, opening up in the throat. Exhale, draw your hands in at your heart. Inhale your arms forward and up. Exhale them out, down to the sides, and then in. Once again, inhale up. As you exhale out and down to the side, see if you can draw your elbows and arms back to open up more in the chest. One more time. Inhaling. And then exhaling, releasing down. All right, from here, take and do a little bit of movement left to right with the arms. And then on your next exhale, release over to your right side. Stretching out the left side of your body. Continuing to move the breath as we're in all of these poses for this class today. From here, just release the left arm down and extend that right ear more downwards towards the right shoulder. We're taking the stretch away from the side of the body and now placing it more into the side of the neck. Go ahead and lift back up. Once again, let's move a little bit left and right. And then on your next exhale, lean over to your left. Notice if you feel any differences in the stretch between the left side and the right side of the body. Release the right arm down. Let the head fall more towards the left shoulder. Slowly lift the head back up. From here, we'll go move into a little bit of a twisting motion. So let's just now rock our arms left and right. And then on your next exhale, release fully over to the right. The left hand goes to the right knee. The right hand is placed directly behind the right hip. You're releasing the shoulders down and looking off in the direction of the right shoulder. See if you can sink into an Ujjayi breath as you're here in this twist, letting the mouth be closed so that you can hear your breath as it moves in and out through the throat. Kind of constricting in the front of the throat. It sounds like sometimes an ocean, the waves of an ocean, when you hold a shell up to your ear. It can also make that sound of like when you're cleaning your glasses and fogging them up. Slowly bring your head back to center. Release the arms. Maybe do a little bit of movement left and right again. And then on your next exhale, you'll twist to your left, drawing the shoulders down, keeping the spine tall and lifted. The breath is still moving, and letting your gaze extend off beyond the left shoulder. Bring your head back to center, release the arms. And from here, remove any props underneath you. Make your way onto all fours for a couple of cat-cows. Hands are coming beneath your shoulders. Knees are coming down from your hips. Relax the belly, let it hang down. You'll notice the tailbone will start to turn upwards. Take the shoulders, draw them away from your neck. A slight bend in the elbows, drawing them back towards the thighs. Inhale through your nose, extending forward and up with the chin, the gaze, taking the tailbone up even higher. And then exhaling, rounding, pulling the belly button in, taking your chin in towards your chest. Inhale, forward and up to your cow. Exhale to your cat. Once again, inhale to a cat. Exhale to a cat. Let's come back into a table. From here, you're going to raise your right leg up straight behind you. I want you to square off the hips. And aim the toes so that they're pointed downwards. From here, belly is engaged. Extend your left arm forward out in front of you. Your gaze is going at the floor in front of you. That left hand is raised up towards the left ear. Exhale, draw the left elbow and the right knee together underneath you, pulling the belly button in. Inhale, extend out. Exhale, draw in. Inhale, extend out. One more time, exhaling. And then inhaling out. Release the hand and the knee back down. From here, we'll go to the other side. You'll raise your left leg up at hip level. Leg is strong and straight. Toes are aiming downwards. That left leg is raised at the hip height. Right arm reaches out in front of you. Gaze goes back down towards your mat. On your next exhale, draw the right elbow and left knee together underneath you. Inhale, forward and out. Exhale, draw in. Inhale, extending and lengthening the arm and the leg. One more time, exhale. And then extend back out. Release the hands and the knees back to the mat. Take a brief rest into a child's pose. Letting your forehead come down to the mat. Your bottom is going towards your heels. And if that's uncomfortable, maybe you're leaving your hips raised up. As you're in this child's pose, just let the breath keep moving. I'm going to put my hair up. All right. From your child's pose, start to lift your head up. Take your hands more towards the top of your mat. Fingers are spread wider. Push firmly into the mat with the hands. Take the legs straight back into a plank. You're on your toes and the balls of your feet. Shoulders are above your wrists. Push back to a down dog and pedal your feet. You can sway the hips side to side if you need to, if it feels good. And then start to settle more into your down dog, releasing the heels down and opening the chest. Start to move back into your plank. Push back to your down dog. From here, move back into your plank. Let's warm up the shoulders, the triceps for our chaturangas by moving first into Ashtanga Pranam. Feet will stay on the mat, hands stay on the mat. You'll release your knees down, belly's engaged, and let the chin and the chest come to the mat. From here, inhale, extend the legs behind you. You're moving into Cobra. Still breathing in and out, drawing those shoulders away from your neck. Elbows are drawn in at your sides. From here, push back into a down dog. Take in another breath. Exhale and walk your feet forward to the top of your mat to Uttanasana, forward fold. If you need to, bend in the knees to help protect the hamstrings if you're tight. If the hands don't come to the floor, grab your elbows. Let your head hang between your arms. Take a look back at your knees. You should have the kneecaps pointed straight forward in line with your second and third toes. If the knees are turning inwards, lift the arches of your feet as you're here. And as you're in your Uttanasana, start to shift your body weight forward into the front of your feet, letting the heels become lighter. Draw the lower belly in and up. Let yourself fold down more. The top of your head is pointed in the direction of the mat. From here, let's rise up halfway to Ardha Uttanasana. Fingertips can stay on the floor or lightly touch the shins. You're extending forward. If it's more comfortable, a little bend in the knees can help. Let the weight still be very heavily into the front of your feet, and your gaze is going back down at the mat in front of you. Exhale, fold back down. And then inhale, slowly rise back up one vertebra at a time to a standing position. Once you're up, inhale, reaching the arms up, bringing them together above your head, and then exhale them in at your heart. One more time, inhale up, exhale in. Here we go. Inhale up. We're doing sun salutation A. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, half forward fold, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale down, step back into a plank as you inhale. Shifting the shoulders over the wrists, exhale, Chaturanga. If you need to, always feel free to do a knee chaturanga. Try not to let your bottom stay raised up, but rather tucked in. Inhale to a cobra. If you prefer, you can come forward with the chest, rising into upward facing dog. The shoulders are placed above the wrists, and the thighs are floating up and off of the mat. From either cobra or up dog, curl the toes under, move back into a down dog. From here, inhale the right leg up. Exhale, draw it through to the top of your mat into a runner's lunge. Let the left knee go down, point your left toes. Inhale, back and up, Anjaneyasana. Gaze can go up to the sky or straight forward. As you're here, the right knee is placed above the right ankle. On your next exhale, hands come in at your heart. Take in another breath, and then exhale, twist to your right. You're placing your left elbow onto the right thigh. Right elbow aims up to the sky. As you're here, try not to lean heavily into the left arm, but let the chest stay lifted. Slightly draw the right hip back. Take your hands back to center and to the mat, moving into your runner's lunge, your plank, and then your chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale to a down dog. From here, inhale the left leg up. Exhale, step it forward and through to the top of your mat. Right knee goes down, pointing out the right toes. Inhale, back with the arms, up with the gaze, or straight forward in your Anjaneyasana. From here, take the gaze back to center. Exhale your hands in at your heart. Take an inhale. And then towards the end of your next exhale, you're twisting now to your left. Lifting the chest away from the right arm as you're in this twist, letting that right thigh come forward and down more, maybe drawing the left hip back. Return back to center. Moving to your runner's lunge. Inhaling into your plank. Exhaling, chaturanga. Inhaling, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. Taking another breath. Rise onto the toes. Bend your knees. Look between your hands. Fully exhale and lightly hop. Or walk your feet back to your hands in Uttanasana. Weight stays forward. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold back down. Inhale, rise and reach up. Exhale, namaste. All right, from here, we're now going to move into Sun Salutation B, Surya B. This Sun Salutation begins and ends. Sorry, that was my phone, or my iWatch. The button got hit. This pose ends and begins with both Utkatasana, or chair pose. Legs can be together, or legs can be positioned about hip width apart. You decide what feels best for your low back, okay? If your legs are apart, it's really important that the knees, once again, stay directed forward in the same direction as your toes. All right, so let's start with a setup into chair pose, just to work on our alignment. We're going to bend the knees, and we want to shift your knees and your bottom back so that the knees are behind the toes, they're not surging over the toes. Draw the belly in, raise your arms just up, out in front of you, palms are turned up, and then from here, take the gaze and the arms up higher, draw or plug the arms in, kind of back into your shoulder joints. And this is your chair pose. Let's rise all the way back up. Hands come together above your head. Exhale them in at your heart. All right, let's begin our Surya B. Inhale, chair. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold down. Step back into a plank. And then your chaturanga. Surya B rises with a cobra, Bhujangasana. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, right leg goes up. Exhale, right foot steps forward. Left heel comes down, left toes are facing slightly forward. Inhale to a warrior one. Sinking into the warrior one, taking a moment, really pushing into that back left leg, rolling your weight a little bit more into the outside edge of your left foot, and once again, the right knee is kind of pulled away from the toes. It can be behind or above the ankle. It can even be a little bit forward. Just try not to let that knee go too much farther forward than the ankle. You're facing forward towards the right foot. On your next exhale, come down. Step back into a plank. And then exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, down dog. Inhale the left leg up. Exhale, step it through. Right heel comes down and forward. You're going for about a front heel to middle of the back foot's arch alignment. Inhale, warrior one. Sinking into the left knee. And then placing more body weight into the outside edge of your right foot. Letting the breath flow in and out. On your next exhale, come down. Inhale, step back to your plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, down dog. Take another breath. Rise into the toes, exhale. Lightly hop, landing to the front of your feet. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, chair pose. Finish the rise up, hands come together. Exhale, namaste. All right, we're going to do this again, but we're going to kind of modify or change up our Surya B. After our warrior one, we're going to add a little bit more to that. So here we go. You may want to have a block handy, within reach. And let's begin. Once again, we'll start in Utkatasana or chair pose. When you're ready, inhale, chair. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half forward fold, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale down. You can take an inhale to your plank and then exhale chaturanga, or just take a jump back to chaturanga. If you're comfortable with that, you're going to land with the elbows bent. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, down dog. All right, from here, inhale the right leg up again. Exhale, step it forward and through, rising with an inhale back to your warrior one. Breath is moving. Let's transition to a warrior two. Modify your warrior at any time, any of these warriors if you have an injury. Then let your gaze extend forward out beyond the right fingertips. Extend the right leg straight, angle the left hip up, release down into triangle. The right hand can lightly touch the shin. You can rest it on your block. Left arm is going up, and then see if you can take your gaze up towards the raised left arm. Put a little bit of bend into that front right knee. Rise back up, hands come to your waist. Turn the feet to face towards me. Try and distribute your weight evenly from front to back. You're taking your legs as wide as you can comfortably go. And if it bothers either the backs of your knees or the insides of your thighs, you may want to bring the knees or the feet in a little closer. Hands are on your waist, belly's engaged. Start to extend forward. We're moving to Prasarita Padottanasana. Hands go back down onto the mat beneath you or beneath the shoulders. If that's hard to do, this is where your block comes in handy. You can rest your hands on your block, placing the block pretty much beneath the shoulders. If you can go deeper in this pose, maybe you're coming down further. Maybe you're raising your block to whatever level you need. and resting the top of your head lightly on the block. If you can go even deeper, maybe you're resting the top of your head down onto the mat. Push back up. Put some bend into that right knee. From here, or excuse me, your left knee, you're going to turn to your left. Left foot is forward, right leg is back. You're going to step back into a plank and then chaturanga. Inhale, Bhujangasana. Exhale, down dog. Inhale your left leg up. Exhale, draw it through to the top of your mat. Inhale, warrior one again. Belly is slightly engaged. Transfer into your warrior two here. Once your arms are lined up, shoulders are slightly drawn away from your neck, bend in that left knee. You're then going to let your gaze extend forward and out beyond your left fingertips. Hands can come back to your waist. You can straighten your left leg now. Try not to lock it out, just a micro bend in that left knee. Angle your right hip up, extending forward with the left arm, letting it come down to the block, your ankle, your shin. Maybe rotate a little bit more to your right. Right arm goes up, and gaze goes up to the raised right arm. Breathing. Rise back up. Hands come to your waist. Once again, turn your toes to face towards me. Extending forward as you exhale, Prasarita Padottanasana. If you can, go deeper. Release down to whatever level you can go, shifting more weight in towards the front part of your foot. If you want, you can have the option of raising the arms up towards the sky, drawing the shoulders away from your neck. And then taking your arms back to the mat, rising up with your head. Putting bend into your right knee, turning towards your right. You're back into your runner's lunge. Step that right leg back. And exhale, chaturanga. This will be your last one. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, lightly hop or walk your feet to your hands to Uttanasana. Weight stays shifted forward. Heels are light. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, down. Inhale. Rise to Utkatasana, chair pose. Finish the rise up, hands come together. Exhale, namaste. All right, from here we're going to move into our next pose, which is going to be frog pose. So, a couple of things. You might want your block. Maybe you want some extra padding for your knees if your knees are sensitive. You're going to fold over the sides of your mat. And then from here, place your knees on this double padding. Okay. Go ahead and open your feet out to each side so you can see your feet as you turn your head from side to side. You're going to release down onto your elbows and forearms. Think about keeping the belly slightly engaged. I'm going to turn sideways so you can kind of see what I mean. So we want to avoid overarching the back. Let's draw the belly up and in. And then we're going to push back till you come to your edge. You'll come to it rather quickly, so try not to go past that. Try to avoid going to any point of pain. You should just feel the stretch in your adductors, your inner thighs. Now, for some people, it feels really comfortable to relax or release your head on a block. Resting your forehead on a block can kind of help with your alignment, and it can just give you a little bit more ease in the pose. If this pose ever feels a little bit too uncomfortable for you, know that you can always just shift the hips forward, maybe an inch or so, and that will give you actually quite a bit of relief. At the same time as you're in the pose, you're holding and your body's getting used to the stretch. If you ever feel like you can go deeper, maybe you're just pushing back just another ½ inch to inch. That's all you need, and it will get really deep again. If you don't have a block, another option for your head, you can let it hang or make two fists, stacking them. You can rest your forehead on your fist. Start to lift the head up, start to draw the hips forward, slowly make your way onto your belly, and carefully draw the legs back in, underneath you, and push back up. Go ahead and open up your mat, and from here we're going to now move into bow pose, Vinyasa. You'll start by laying on your belly. And we're going to begin with half Vinyasa or half bow. So we're just going to work each side, left and right, and then we'll move into a full bow pose. From here, you may want to start by just extending your left arm out in front of you on the mat. You'll bend your right knee, flexing the right foot. Reach back with your right hand to grab that right ankle. Make sure the leg isn't flared way out to the side. Draw it back in so the knee is pointed straight back behind you. You can use this left hand to help lift up the chest. See if you can pull this right foot away from your bottom and raise the right thigh off of the mat. Gaze is going forward and you're breathing. Release and lower down. You can rest. Let's go ahead and move to our other side. You'll extend your right arm out in front of you. Bend the left knee. Flex the left foot. Grab that left ankle. Take a moment to draw that left knee in. Push into the mat with the right arm, lifting up the chest. Have that left heel pull away from your bottom. See if you can raise the left thigh up. And breathe. 3, 2, and 1. lower down, and rest. When we move into full bow pose, it's really important that you keep your breath moving as you're in the pose. Let the belly expand into the mat as you take your inhales. If ever you cramp up in this pose, I want you also to feel free to release out of it. So here we go. Hands reach back. You're bending both knees, grabbing your ankles, flexing the feet. Draw the knees so they're going straight behind you. And really open up the chest. Have those feet pull your hands back. Raise the thighs, the head, and breathe. Relax, let go, head down. If it feels good, you can kind of sway the hips side to side. And push back up. All right. So we're going to start to go a little bit more in the other direction. Before we move into the outer hips, to stretch out the outer hips, we're going to take our shoulders in the opposite direction. So make your way to a table pose. Take your left hand, turn that left palm up, extend the left arm out beyond your right knee, and release the left side of your head and your left shoulder down onto the mat. Try and draw the left shoulder away from the ear, away from the neck. And then from here, you can just go ahead and breathe and relax. Your right arm can go in front of you. It can go out to the side. It can go behind your back, whatever feels good. If you want to go deeper into this pose, there are a couple of variations you can do. You can start to shift your hips straight forward. You'll feel a greater pull in the left side of your neck. You can also shift your hips off to the left. You may feel a greater pull towards the shoulder blades in the upper back. Breathing 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly push up. If you're feeling any stiffness, just do a little bit of movement side to side or with the neck. And then we'll move to our other side. Make your way back into your table pose. You'll pick up your right hand, turn the right palm up, and slide the right arm out beyond your left knee, slowly releasing the right shoulder and the right side of your head down onto the mat. Let the breath resume. Put space between your teeth. If it's hard to get the head and the right shoulder down to the mat, you can always rest your head on a blanket or a towel. If you want to go deeper in this pose, you can either shift the hips forward towards the direction of your head and or over to the right. Play with it and see what feels good to you today. If this pose ever starts to feel too intense, you can just shift your hips back in the direction towards your feet. Once again, arms can be in any kind of variation that you'd like. 3, breathing in and out. 2, in and out. 1. Slowly begin to push back up. releasing, doing any movement that feels good to your body. Alrighty. So what we're going to do next is move into our hip opener for today, which is going to be Gomukhasana, cow face pose. It's a rather big hip opener. It can work both hips at the same time. It can also kind of move into your IT bands, which are tough bands of fascia along the outsides of your thighs. Sometimes this pose can be made a little bit more comfortable or easier to set up into through the use of either a bolster, a blanket. You can even sit on your block. Okay, so I'll show you how we set up. At the same time too, I should say, if you have sensitive knees or any kind of knee injuries, you may want to do an alternative pose. One of the modifications for Gomukhasana, which I like to have people do because it lets them do any of our arm variations that we do in this practice. You can sit upright, and you're not sitting in Sukhasana. You'll have one leg out in front of you. In this case, it would be your right foot. Okay, left one is drawn in. This way, if we do any kind of variations, you'll be able to join us with those. Okay, so know that if you want to do the variation or it's difficult to set up into cow face pose, this is one I highly recommend. Once again, left foot's drawn in, right foot's out in front of you, and the right foot is flexed. If you want to set up into Gomukhasana, we're going to start by, have your block nearby, coming onto all fours, taking your right knee directly underneath you, feed that right foot out to your left side. Then you're going to cinch or draw that left knee up behind the right knee so they're touching. Now feed that left foot out to your side. From here, you'll slowly make your way back. You may want to start by sitting on your block. Try and open up your feet out to the sides. Stack the knees. If this is really uncomfortable, or if you can't sit evenly on both hips, you may want to do the variation. Okay? So let yourself get some time to really open it up. Open up. You'll feel it in both sides. And maybe, once again, as I said, in the IT bands. If you feel like you have more opening at any time, you can always remove your block. Sometimes, too, we have to kind of move our calf muscles so we can sit comfortably, too. Take a moment. Really push the right hip into your mat. If you feel like you can go deeper, you can slowly extend forward and down. If you're feeling it at any point and it's hard to maintain, know that you can always move back upright. We always want to kind of reassess where we need to be by listening to the body as we're in this pose. Let the breath move. Gently push back up if you were forward leaning. Inhale up with your left arm, palm turns towards your head. Exhale, lean over to your right. Kind of helping to push more weight into that right hip. Gently come back up. And whichever pose you're in, either Gomukhasana or our modification, hands go behind your hips. Slowly, gently release the legs out in front of you. You can wiggle the toes, roll the legs, whatever feels good. And then we'll set up for our next side. Once again, if you're doing the modification, you'll bend both knees, but this time you're pulling your right foot in first. The left foot comes out on the mat, out in front of you, flexing the left toes. You're trying to sit evenly on both hips. And once again, you can go deeper in this pose also by leaning forward as we go there. Gomukhasana, people. Make your way back onto all fours. This time you're taking the left knee, placing it underneath the middle of you on the mat. Extend your right leg straight behind you. Feed the left foot out to your right. Draw the right knee in, up against the back of the left knee. That right foot goes out to your left. Have your block ready. Slowly release down. Trying to sit more forward on the front edge of your block so you can really kind of get a taller, lifted, straighter spine, a more open chest in this pose. If there's a lot of airspace between your knees, such as like this, and you're leaning off to the side, you can't get this left hip down to the mat, you may want to go into the modification I just showed you. So you're sitting up nice and tall, breathing. Moving any props away if you feel like you can go deeper, and keeping the props there if you feel like you need to stay exactly where you are. If you'd like to go deeper, once again, you're hinging from low in the hip crease. Keep the chest open. Exhale, start to slowly lean forward, and then take it down to whatever place you can go, and keeping your breath moving. Try to really settle into this pose with your Ujjayi breath. Slowly push back up. Inhale up with the right arm. Turn the palm towards your head. Exhale, lean over to your left side, pushing more deeply into your left hip, releasing it downwards into the mat, maybe just a little more. And make your way up. Hands behind you, carefully extend and release the legs out in front of you. Wait for the blood to flow down the length of the legs, and then you can move them and shake them however you would like. All right. When you're ready, I'd like for you to come and lay down on your back. Going to move into our spinal twist today. You can either hug both knees into your chest or extend the left leg straight, hug just the right knee into your chest, or you can do another version if you'd like, crossing that right knee over the top of your left knee, letting the feet hang. Your choice. You'll draw in a breath. Exhale, let the knees roll over to your left side. You may roll completely over onto the left side of your body. And then when you're ready, open up the right arm out
at shoulder level, palm is turned up to the sky, and you can turn your head to the right. If this pose is uncomfortable in any way, I would suggest doing it with both knees drawn in at your chest, taking your block and even placing that block between the knees. It helps to protect the lower back, your SI joint here, to make the pose more comfortable. And at the same time as you twist, you may want to roll the entire body over all at the same time before opening out to the side or over to the right. All right, slowly make your way onto your back again, bringing the legs back to center. And then whatever you did for your pose on the first side, I would suggest doing the same thing on the next side. Once again, both knees drawn in, maybe a block between the knees, or if you want, right leg is straight, left knee is drawn in, or bending both knees and crossing the left knee over the top of the right. Whichever pose you're in, you're going to exhale. As you come to the end of your exhale, roll over onto your right side. And then open up the left arm and turn your head to your left. Head comes back to center. Bring the legs also back. Hiding your knees into your chest, maybe rocking side to side. From here, we're going to move into a quick happy baby. Open the knees out to the sides, drawing the thighs down to the outside edges of your ribs, and then aim the feet up to the sky. The toes are flexed, they're pointing behind you. It's as though you were going to walk on the ceiling with your feet. Take your arms to the insides of the legs, reach up and grab the outside edges of each foot. If that's difficult to do, you may want to grab the ankles. You're pulling down. Once again, heels are aiming up towards the ceiling as you draw down. Stay here. If it feels good, you can also rock a little bit side to side. If this bothers your back in any way, I would suggest just staying flat on the mat. Release the hands, draw the knees in, feet come to the mat, and then start to extend your legs straight out in front of you. Take a moment, reach your arms directly behind you. Find length for the entire body. And breathing in and out. Maybe pulling the belly in, arching the back a little bit. When you're ready, you'll exhale. Slowly release your arms down at your sides. Spread the feet wider apart. Hands are drawn away from the body, or you can rest them on the belly. Feel free to use any props, placing either a blanket underneath your head or rolling it up. You can place it underneath your knees. You can use a bolster and place that underneath the knees if that feels good. You can cover your eyes with either a towel, or if you have a little eye pillow, those are really nice to use also. I want you to go ahead and just set up, kind of find a nice comfortable position for the arms and the legs. Eyes shut, draw the shoulders down and away from your neck. Let the body settle into your mat. Try and let the arms and legs become a little bit more still.
With the eyes closed, notice the facial muscles. Are you hanging on to any tightness, whether it be in the forehead, around the eyes, or the mouth? On your next exhale, release and let it go. Move into the shoulders and down the arms. As you release and let go of tension and tightness out through the fingers, you may notice the fingers may slightly curl. Let the breath naturally begin to slow down. Feel the belly soften. And then continue to release from the lower back, down the hips, and then down the legs, out through the toes. As you release and let go of any remaining tightness or tension, the toes and the feet may turn outwards. The body will become more heavy and still as you release and let go with the thoughts of the mind and float away for these next several minutes. As you bring yourself back to your body, to the thoughts of your mind, and to this day. From here, roll to your right side, deepening the breath a little bit more. And now rising up into a forward seated position, hands are at your heart, chin to your chest, and eyes closed. My quote today comes from Albert Einstein. Out of the clutter, find simplicity. From discord, find harmony. In the middle of difficulty lies opportunity. Thank you once again, everyone, for sharing this online yoga class. Be well, stay safe, and as always, the divine in me bows to the divine in you. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. I'll see you next time.